My name is Mark Blank. I'm the studio director here, and all of this started with a company I founded 11 years ago here in Bend, which went by the name Eidetic. PlayStation was really the first of the consoles that could really do 3D properly, and at the time nobody knew what a 3D game should be like. Really, there were side scrollers, and everyone knew about those. And if you look at the first games on the PlayStation that were 3D, most of them weren't really 3D. Things like Crash Bandicoot, which is a gorgeous game, but you're on a track, and it's sort of a 2.5D game. And there was another game, Pandemonium, I think that Crystal Dynamics did. Another 2.5D game. It was a 3D world, but again, the character was always on a track, and the camera would follow around. But what we wanted to do was make a real 3D game in a real 3D world. And in many ways we succeeded, but we bit off so much. That really what happened is technically it was extremely successful. The game itself didn't get very much attention, so the game itself was a disaster. But it basically is the foundation for this group that's made the Syphon Filter series.
I am Scott Youngblood. I'm the lead designer on Syphon Filter, the Omega Strain. The Omega Strain is the final chapter of the Syphon Filter story. It's the 4th game in the series. But it's not the last Syphon Filter game, so don't get those two confused. It was definitely, when we were coming up with what we were trying to do in this game, we wanted to answer everything that has led up to this point. We wanted this to be the final chapter of the Syphon Filter virus. The biggest challenge is in the style of mission design that we do, because we're changing our focus from a single-player, linear story-based mission to now online multiplayer missions where the players can choose to go in different directions, bring in any different kind of weapons that you want to play with, really stress, what they're trying to do. Well, when we were designing the gameplay, the one thing that we wanted to strive was personal achievement on the player's part, right? What have I done and how have I been rewarded for it? And then how can I then use those rewards in new and creative ways that make the game replayable, more fun, more interesting each time I play it. And then, in order to achieve that, it's a lot of upfront, thinking about, okay, well, what kind of weapons do we need? What sort of locales do we need to include? Why is this fun to the player? The first-time player, their approach to the game and what they will see will probably not cover everything. I mean, you're bound to miss, a lot of the small objectives, the out-of-the-way things that you wouldn't normally notice as a first-time player. And that's where the replayability comes back in, because when you go back to the mission screen and you know that you've missed some objectives, you can go back and look for those objectives and try to find them and accomplish everything that you didn't accomplish the first time, as well as subsequent furloughs into the mission. New weapons really change the way you're going to play the mission. For example, the first time through you have a pistol, second time through you might have a grenade launcher, and that really changes things up. It does pose a lot of challenges, but we chose to go that route for player choice, right? If you give them the ability to experience things in different orders, and maybe that unfolds or changes how things unfold in the mission, their choices matter. That's what we really wanted to send home. So the online play enables players to get together with your favorite friend online, hook up, tackle the missions at the same time cooperatively. It's performing buddy actions, it's covering fire, getting my back, flanking that guy while I keep him distracted. Playing online really enables people to use their minds, make choices, and then experience the rewards. Playing online, as you complete missions, achieve objectives, elevate through ranks of the agency, you will be rewarded with increased weapons. Generally, the weapons you get later in the game are more powerful. They enable you to go back, replay the earlier missions, and get better par times, achieve more of the objectives. So it's kind of a circular process. In offline play, the gameplay is very similar to the multiplayer experience, with the exception of that you won't be able to do any of the combination, like the buddy climb moves. Things may be a tad more difficult. So in multiplayer, where you had somebody that was giving you covering fire, you may not have that, so it's harder. There are some things in the environment that we call them non-interactive sequences, but they're actually very interactive. Things that go on, car crashes, missile launchings, tanks, all that sort of stuff are present inside the Syphon Filter universe. I guess the biggest things, the previous strengths of the game was story, character. You know who the characters are and why they're there and why they're doing what they're doing. And that's something that we definitely wanted to preserve for this, but with a different angle. I mean, this time it's like you're not Gabe, you're not Leon, you're, you know, whoever you decide to be, but you're still as much an integral part of the story as the previous games.
I am Chris Reese. I'm the technical director here. So, and lead programmer on all of the Syphon projects. Been there from the beginning. Well, I mean, we came off of Syphon Filter 3 on the PlayStation 1, and you know, we were anxious to get on the PS2 because there was just so much stuff that we wanted to be able to do, and we knew we'd have the power with the PS2 there. So we did. I mean, we basically threw away everything, you know, from a code standpoint, and just threw it all away and started all over on the PS2. You know, there were just so many elements that we wanted to enhance that we always wanted to be able to do on the PS1, but just either didn't have memory, didn't have pure horsepower to do it. On the PS2, that all changed, and not only did it did a change on that aspect, but it also opened the world of online for us, which is, you know, it was the next big thing. You know, we were looking at and going, okay, what do we really want to do? You know, if we're going to really push this thing and take it to the next stage, what do we want to do? And that was it. We knew we wanted to take it online. We've done a lot of things. I mean, we've obviously increased the graphics